All right, so Theo, something very shocking. Anthony Joshua got TKO'd on his American debut in New York.
It's not exactly how he planned it, was it?
Oh, mate, like, honestly, bruv. The shock, the pure, like people were crying in that arena. It was like, everyone was there. This was meant to be just sort of like a big party sort of vibe. That's what it was, like, leading up to it. Everyone was sort of like, yeah, we're about to see AJ absolutely go in and KO this guy. And the way it panned out, mate, was honestly, like, it hurt to watch.
Was the crowd AJ fans?
Well, yeah, like,
obviously it's in America, but was it just all AJ?
I feel like a lot of most of the crowd was England. Ruiz did his walkout. Everyone was like, boo. It was all AJ trailers. AJ's amazing. AJ's a knockout artist. Like, I thought he was just gonna crumble. AJ go and do the business, and you know, it was all good. But like, mate, it was honestly like AJ did not turn up. We're hearing things that, like, he got knocked out in sparring, right?
So it's all just come out that Anthony Joshua, in the dressing room before the fight, had a panic attack.
Wait.
So was his walkout delayed?
Yeah,
So that is the reason why his walkout was delayed, they're saying. And his father had spoken to Eddie Hearn to try and call off the fight as Joshua didn't look well and he felt that it was something wrong with him. And Eddie Hearn's like, oh, he'll be fine when he gets in the ring. It'll be okay.
Really? Because obviously what they said is that, he just wanted to change his groin guard. That's why he was late. He just, that wasn't okay. It felt uncomfortable, and he went back and changed it. But obviously you saw his face as he was walking out. He looked like almost timid. He had like cuts and bruises around his eyes. He didn't look mean and like the champ. He looked almost like a bit of a boy in his demeanour.
Well, if you do have a panic attack, it doesn't just affect you mentally. I think it does affect you physically. It'll drain you, right?
If you've experienced a panic attack, I haven't, but from what I've heard people say is that, like, physically and mentally drains you. You're completely not thinking straight, you know. And then to go out and then be forced to then fight with everything on the line, like it was, the pressure, all of that. As AJ's dad, you're going to try and call off the fight. Yeah. And does this make Eddie Hearn a bad guy, forcing him to then go and fight?
It's one of them ones where if they were genuinely worried, which sounds like AJ's dad was, the fight never should have happened. But I think in Eddie Hearn's mind, like, we are literally so close to it happening. Think how much would have gone into that, selling tickets to the lot. For his mind, if he called that off last minute, that would have been like a catastrophe. Yeah,
I mean, this is the thing though. So, obviously, before you said that about the panic attack thing, I was about to go in and be like, you know, AJ didn't look like he wanted to be there. He didn't look bothered. He looked like, you know, he took one taste of like pain and you know, discomfort from Ruiz and just wanted to get on his bike. But hearing that he had a panic attack is like, that's worrying, man. Like, that's like not nice to hear. And obviously, you know, the note that I was going to say is that apparently he got knocked out in sparring only days before the event. So I'm wondering if this like contributed towards that panic attack, made him feel like, oh no, because you know, if you're getting beatings in sparring, it don't fill you with, you know, the most confidence. If anything, you can feel beaten before you get in the ring.
Yes,
I was getting beatings before the JJ
fight. They're saying it's by European champion Caballero, who apparently is 19-0.
All right,
in fights. And again, AJ's father is saying here he wanted to cancel the fight leading up to it. Because if you get knocked out leading up to a fight, it is so bad for you.
But it happens, bruv. Like, obviously, the thing is, we got to make sure we aren't boxing experts. Like, saying all this stuff, like, we can't talk like we're bloody pundits. Like, we don't know. But, like, it, you know, obviously, from my experience, I know I keep saying that, but, like, you know, you take beatings in sparring. It's part of the journey. Like,
but concussion is very important, and not enough is done to, especially even in football.
It's almost like they go, they're used to getting punched in the head, therefore he got concussion a couple of days before, get in there. I think it's because where AJ was ill in the Povetkin fight, which was his previous fight, he was like seriously ill before that, and he went in and still did the business. Maybe Hearn was like, he's been ill before, he'll get in there, he'll feed off the energy, and he'll do the business. But like, that is a pretty mad move. But like, as well, they say, like, look, if you're a fighting man, if you're going to have a boxing match, no matter what, you get in that ring. Yeah. You know, no matter what. And that's what, say, for example, I remember Tony Bellew going in and saying that, like, if you've got, you know, a broken toe, if you've got illness, if you're shitting yourself. And I think that's the thing, like in boxing, like the done thing is that, you know, if you're experiencing something, you suck it up and you go in there, do the business, and even if you lose, you don't come out with excuses, right? So that's why AJ's not coming forward and saying, look, I had this, I had that.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it would be more powerful if, you know, it's 2019, bruv. Like, if he came out and said, look, I experienced this mental, like, essentially, like, breakdown or something, and, you know, it was, you know, I wanted to, you know, carry on and show that, you know, I'm not going to let that affect me, but that is what happened. I feel like we'd all take more away from that if he was open about his mental state, like we've spoken about.
I totally agree with you, but I also can see him also thinking the other way, that if he comes out and says this, everyone's gonna be like, oh, you're just making excuses, which people will say who don't understand. Because imagine you're Ruiz, you've beaten AJ, and you're hearing all this, you're like, stop, just like, let me have my moment.
Talking about the fight, say if like that isn't true, like hypothetically, say
because it's not confirmed.
It is rumours. Say you know he didn't have a panic attack and he didn't get knocked out in sparring. His performance, like obviously being there, seeing it live, seeing how he kept turning to his corner, you know, and asking like, what do I do? Like this, you know, you may have had whatever happened before, but in terms of actual knowing what to do with your boxing skill, like he seemed like, you know, he had no answers for Ruiz, which isn't. Like the real champ, the real like heavyweight boxing champ should be able to answer anything that's thrown at him and come back and you know deliver. He, even though he didn't physically like go, ref, I give up, like he quit. He looked like he wanted to get out of there.
For sure.
And like that's oh mate, it's so difficult because like, you know, Ruiz did present something that AJ's never really had to face before, i.e. being a shorter bloke. Like they say he was 6'2", mate, I'm arguing he's under 6 foot. I know, honestly, he looked tiny. And every time AJ would throw a punch, Ruiz, boom, counter, get on the inside, he
looked like he was a slugfest. He was just going,
well, yeah, he would just unload. And rather than what most guys do against AJ is they just cover up and like just and step back, he just would take a hit and that would almost activate him to go crazy. And AJ's like, he's against Carlos Takam a little bit, Povetkin a little bit, but the way Ruiz did it, like got on the inside and absolutely unloaded. He's never really faced that before, and that's what made me think like that. Like, oh, maybe he is a bit one dimensional. Obviously, you know, like, does he have answers when it's not just a tall, rangy bloke that's going to fight in the same sort of style as him? And you know, it's worrying because obviously, like, the thing is, right, is he's inspired so many people through what he's done. And this could go two ways, right? I'm like, hopefully it's going to go the way in the he's lost and he's going to now demonstrate that, yeah, you can lose, you can take defeat and everyone can be writing you off. But bang, you can say, no, I am the champ. I'm coming back and I'm going to prove you all wrong. Because we'd all gained so much inspiration from that.
I think that's what he will do as well.
Yeah, that's what I really, really hope. Yeah. But on the flip side, and like a lot of people are saying, if Ruiz performs like he did the other night, and even AJ tries, like, and it is on form, the way those styles went together, AJ just wasn't able to deal with him, and it could happen again. And then you've got to ask the question, if it happens again, what's AJ doing?
Well, that's the thing.
What's he going to do?
The most important thing is what happens next. How does he go into his next fight? Who is his next fight as well? That's the important question.
Be the rematch, mate. He wants his belts back.
But say he goes in and loses that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If he
do you know what I mean? He has to win his next fight.
Yeah.
He has to. And also what I saw online was a lot of boxers, even Tyson Fury, were showing his support and respect.
I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, the classy thing to do, just as a human, what if someone's down, you don't knock them. Yeah. You don't chat shit when they're down. Like Wilder's doing and stuff. That's just scummy, mate. Yeah. Like, if, you know, show your support. Like, yeah, we all have our beef. Yeah, we all this and that. But then say hypothetically he loses the rematch. Like, does he then retire? Because he can't drop down to then like European level and fight like, well, I don't know, like, well, I don't know what level Chisora is, but like people like Chisora. Or like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can't then drop down and do that. Like, AJ's already too big. The brand is already too big. And that's where I'm saying, like, what happens? Like, what do you think?
What's the plan now?
Yeah, like, what's the plan if he does lose? Because it's not...
I think, honestly, the plan would be for them is the rematch and you don't lose.
No, but what if he does?
Yeah, but I think... I don't know. If he's if he's mentally ill there, can he beat Ruiz? If he is in the prime...
Well, yeah, he can, but...
You're saying what if he does lose again?
It's in heavyweight boxing, mate. Either guy can win because it just takes connecting that big blow. And the thing that I'm worried about, right, that as well. So say panic attack and all that stuff aside, is when Ruiz did catch him, AJ couldn't recover, and there's always been rumours of, has AJ got a decent chin? Can he take a bang? And like the fact that AJ banged Ruiz like with a stunning combo, like sent him, stunning. Yeah, stunning. It like sent him down, and we all thought Ruiz is done, but he came back like unfazed. Yeah. And when he caught AJ just looked like he couldn't deal with it. And one last thing is that you always see AJ doing a lot of like neck exercises, like with and that is to like strengthen sort of like how your head deals with taking blows, and that's what can suggest. Does he know that his chin isn't amazing?
But also you could argue that the knockout he had earlier in the week could have easily affected him.
Oh yeah, like that one without a doubt would have affected him.
It's a lot of back and forth, isn't it?
Yeah, like, there's a big argument around it. It's just that like, getting knocked out a few days before a fight, but if you're the real champ, you can deal with that and go on and win. That's the argument. It's that it's unfortunate circumstances, but if you're the real, if you really are the best, you should be able to deal with no matter what and come forward and still prevail. But then this is that argument where they're human, man. Like they are human. And I know they do these superhuman things, the way they get in the ring and like fight, but they are just human at the end of the day. And it's just like, that's where like part of me is like, I'd like to see like a human response from AJ in where he just opens up and goes, you know what, like this is what happened. Like I was destroyed, and I wanna show that I can come back from that, but open up about it a little bit more.
I think over time he will. I think it's one of them.
I hope so.
I think it's one of them where like he's probably still in a little bit of shock of what happened. The best thing he can do is be honest and open and just connect with the people. Yeah,
because that's the thing. Like you see how Tyson Fury came out and was open about his mental health.
Yeah, and
that made him connect. Like honestly, mate, he was hated by so many people, but like that made him connect with people, and that's what I'm saying. Like in this day and age, like opening up about your struggles and about like your mental health, like that. It really does. It helps other people, and it makes people connect with you even more.
It makes you seem real.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I mean?
That human sort of like, we're all human sort of thing. Because it's not just making excuses. Opening up about your struggles, it's not making excuses. If he jumped on the mic straight after and said, oh yeah, this, maybe it was, but maybe it would be. But like, I think that would be great to see him do. Now going back to obviously how AJ conducted himself during the fight, the way obviously we saw him go and turn, like during the round, turn to his coach and be like, what do I do? Like, what's going on? What do I do? Like, you'd never see Tyson Fury do that. Or like Billy Joe Saunders, who I feel like, obviously, so they've been boxing since very young. They don't actually need their coach to tell them
I know what you mean,
anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's for me what I feel like could be AJ's sort of, I guess, downfall. Because, like I say, like Fury, his coach is always just there, literally, as someone that he gets along with, someone that can get him through camp, get him through the rounds, and just sort of like get on well with him. Whereas I feel like AJ still relies on his coach to tell him absolutely every tactic and everything he's gonna do, because he's not fully like in his DNA a boxing person.
But then you can also argue, has he done that before in other fights?
What, ask his coach for advice? Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that like that's okay up to a certain point. I know like Klitschko, and don't get me wrong, like he still has to do a lot for himself, like mentally and everything. Yeah. And he's a disciplined athlete and all of that stuff. But what I'm saying is, as you get to the higher level, you can't rely on your coach to tell you, oh, what shot.
Well, it's just like tennis. What do you mean? When you're out there, you're completely alone. Your coach isn't allowed to be with you.
Yeah, no, that's what. That's what I'm saying. And I feel like that sort of, if he's in there with Fury, like you're not going to be able to train for someone like Fury, because there's no sparring partners that are like him. So it's going to rely on your boxing IQ, and when you're in there, to be able to clock what he's doing and be able to deal with it. And I don't know if Joshua has that ability. Like, it's all good being told what to do. Like, Joshua was being told what to do during that fight, but if you haven't got like the skill and ability to do it, well then, you know what I mean?
Well, maybe he lost confidence in himself after what happened. And he didn't trust himself to trust his own ability and to work it out himself.
Well, then you can't be the heavyweight champion in the world.
If you're not mentally ready, you could you can convince yourself that I'm not good enough to beat this guy, or I don't know, I'm not good enough to make my own decisions, and you start relying on other people, it's be a cloud in his brain.
I mean, that is true. Like,
I'm just trying to
no, it's good. Like, obviously thinking about, like, if it was a panic attack just before you're going for a fight, going to war, then that, but like, I think it's just like the signs that he showed, whether he had a panic attack or not, were worrying from a point of view of like just boxing skill, like boxing ability. So like, having to ask, what's he doing that I can't see? Like, I know your trainer points things out and stuff, but I don't know. I guess it was just like the worrying thing of like, boxing ability. Really.
I think it's all well and good. Everyone can give their own opinion, whatever, but we have no idea
exactly
until he comes out and opens up. Yeah,
I just think, like, obviously I recorded like an initial, reaction when I was there at Madison Square Garden, and I think everyone's initial reaction was just that he's been found out. Yeah. He's a fraud. Yeah. Everyone was just saying, like, that's it, he's been done. Once you realise, oh shit, there's actually other things that may be going on, like it does factor in. But I just don't like seeing someone like quit. Like, in the way, like, obviously I support AJ no matter what, and like I'm a big fan of his and stuff. But I guess that's what really, like, really got to me. The fact that I saw, it's like your favourite superhero giving up.
Okay, I get you.
And do you know what I mean? Like, you have this, and I guess it is that thing, like you said, about you have this sort of godlike view of him. Like, he's untouchable. He, no matter what, will prevail. And the way I just saw, he was taking bangs, mate. And he would literally, at one point, he had his hands down, and he would just almost, like, he didn't show any movement.
Like, he accepted defeat.
Yeah, that was what was really worrying initially, there and then. But if there was this panic attack, then that throws a lot, like, but what's to say he's not going to have another panic attack? What's to say before the next fight, when there's even more pressure and everyone's like, if you don't win this, your career is over?
That's
like,
why,
how's he going to deal with that?
That's why now you have to start training your mentality now.
Yeah.
He has to get someone in to really help him understand why it happened, and B, how to try and prevent it from happening, and C, how to deal with it. The mentality of sport is just as important as the physicality of sport. You could be the most talented sports star in the world, but if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have that mentality, it's not going to work for you. It's not going to happen.
Literally, and that's the
How many footballers do you know who are unbelievable and don't make it because they just don't have it up there?
Me.
I mean, you didn't really have.
I was class. No, but that's the thing. Like, I've always been let down by my lack of belief in myself when it comes to the big moment.
Well, yeah.
And like, obviously, that's. I mean, I like. It's funny because I was questioning that the whole trip leading up to the fight in New York. I was like, how is AJ going to actually deal with this pressure? Like, there is so much on the line here. Like, this is him, like, getting seen by the American market, and they are going to decide whether they give a shit about him or not.
Yeah.
And how, and now I will say they are realistically laughing at him, which is horrible. Like, they're going, what, this bloke, he ain't the real deal.
And I don't think a lot of people understand just how much pressure there was, like millions.
Yeah. And this is what I'm saying as well, right? So people go, oh, he's done it, like, he's had all these fights before, fighting wherever, but he's taken 8 months off between his last fight. Obviously he was keeping in shape, but to not have performed and have that occasion for 8 months, and then the first time to do it, to be away from home in a new, like, new location and all of that, I feel like that's not smart. I know he got let down by people pulling out, like Wilder didn't want it in April, White didn't want it, and Fury, whatever, but like, that's the difficulty. I feel like AJ needs to fight like 3 times a year, like, not just like once at the beginning and sort of, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, and then he will improve, because that's the thing as well, bruv. We haven't seen him actually improve, like, ability-wise, in ages. Like, he hasn't shown, oh yeah, he's really developed and improved and learnt new skills. Like, we haven't seen that in ages. AJ's been the same fighter, if not shown a few more vulnerabilities in his last previous fights. He's taken bangs, and he's not shown that he can come through with anything different. Like, against Povetkin, he just stuck to his same thing and then eventually got through and was able to bang him. But if he can't get through with that upright, boom, boom, sort of like tactic, what else has he actually got?
Well, maybe for the rematch, if it happens, they need to sit down and work out what we're doing wrong, how can we improve. They need to maybe do a different approach. So I think the most important, let's end it here. The most important thing is that what happens next will define his career.
Well, yeah, but then this. I'm not ending it there. I've got another big point.
Oh no, it's a good going.
Listen, his trainer, right, Rob McCracken, obviously.
What name?
Listen, no. He's like obviously done wonders with AJ and other, boxers, and he's class. But people are saying that like, is it time for him to switch up his trainer? Just because obviously what their tactic obviously appears to be is do the basics, but do them really, really well. And maybe a new mind, a new head coming in and saying, look, and teaching him new skills and having a bit of a different approach may develop him. Because all the top fighters, they do tend to have a few different coaches throughout their career that give them new, new abilities, new skills, new mindsets.
I know I've mentioned it before, but tennis is another example of Andy Murray goes through coaches. Federer's gone through coaches. Yeah. All the top guys have gone through coaches to try and help improve and grow.
Because that's what it looks like. AJ's gone a bit stale.
Okay.
He just looks stale. And he doesn't look like, if he's against one of them top men, that he's going to have different options to turn to. And that's the worrying thing. I really hope he does learn and come back even stronger. But like, as well, one other thing is obviously he has all this branding stuff going on, new merch, new sponsorship deals, it's a business. I know he loves boxing, but it's almost like boxing isn't the core thing anymore. It's a part of his business empire. And I'm worried if he was leading up to this recent fight, he was out with celebrities, he went to Miami, he was doing other things, and I'm worried that maybe he's looking at the business and all of that a bit too much, and the boxing is sort of taking a back seat a little bit.
Balance it out a little bit more. Because obviously it comes with, if you're a big boxing star, you're going to get all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But you have to have the balance, you're saying, right?
Yeah. And also, obviously he had his mindset on Wilder, so maybe he overlooked Ruiz.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's saying that. You wouldn't think Ruiz is going to be class, but he didn't have an absolute world class amazing performance. He just knew the tactic to employ against AJ. And this is the other thing, is that now the blueprint is set for how to beat AJ. Ruiz has shown, if every other fighter, I know the taller ones may not be able to do this, but he's shown this is how you beat him. When he starts throwing, trade with him. Because he leaves himself open. Every time he threw a punch, mate, it was a lazy jab. He was just sort of and then he would sort of bring it back up here, or he was jabbing from the hip, so his hand was down. And as well, one other thing is that when you're going against a shorter opponent, right? He's punching down. So look at the difference between if you're punching up against a taller fighter, look, you're still covered with your boom because you're still protected. Whereas when you're punching down, you're open every time. And the shorter fighters, I'm sure are going to be queuing up to fight AJ, because that the way he leaves himself open every time he goes for a big finish, you can just get him. He was there for the taking every single time he tried to unload against Ruiz. So that's what I'm saying. The blueprint is now set how to beat AJ. It's just whether he can now counteract that. And I don't know. Will his love for the sport go?
No.
But I'm saying if he loses the rematch.
Okay.
Will he go, you know what? This ain't for me, mate. I've had fun, but I've earned enough money, and it's just to the point now where I'm is this still for me?
So it depends. What he'll need to ask himself, do I create a legacy and become a legend?
Yeah.
Or do I, look after my family and just settle with that?
This is the thing, if he loses to Ruiz, it's going to take a hell of a lot to come back and get on top once again. And that's the point I'm sort of saying, that will he want to go through that process of fighting, lower opponents? Because he said in his post-match press conference that I don't want any warm-up fights. I don't want to go against any lesser opponents. I want to be up here. And if he's not up there and he has to go through that long process of going against, lesser opponents, is that going to make him fall out of love with it? Because that's what happened to Tyson Fury. Unless he really gives a crap about beating his opponent, he's not asked. And that's what started happening. He was he beat Klitschko, and then he was I'm not really bothered about beating this other guy. And that's what I'm saying. You have to really care about beating your opponent. And that's what, another thing, that's another thing that AJ, Like, you know, before the Ruiz fight, he was shaking his hand. He let Ruiz take a photo with the belts. He was sort of, you know, he almost treated like Ruiz like he was a fan, you know. And I'm wondering whether he really wanted to. Yeah, he wants to beat him to retain his titles, but did he really want to beat Ruiz? I really want to knock him out. Whereas Miller, he hated Miller. He really wanted to like destroy Miller, and he would have been more up for it.
You could say you could learn a lot from the likes of Usain Bolt, Roger Federer, the guys, Serena Williams, the guys who have been at the top of their sport for such a long time. It is so easy. Federer, like 15 years ago, had won everything. And he's still at the top, winning things.
How can he be arsed?
Won everything, and he was still went through more Olympics.
Yeah.
Michael Phelps won everything.
Yeah. So wait, so what do you reckon it is?
It's so hard. You can't be motivated by money.
No.
You can't It's all intrinsic motivation. You can't.
So what?
Intrinsic motivation.
Intrinsic, what's that?
So it comes from within you. Like extrinsic stuff like money, fame. Intrinsic's more like I want to be the best. I want to be the hero. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So the desire to be the best and always be the best.
Yeah.
And that's where you've got to
It takes a certain there's only you can't just be normal to be like Roger Federer, Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps. You've got to have something that's different about you, because it isn't normal to stay at the top for that period of length of time.
Yeah, like normal people would just get I've achieved this. It's like when you get a new something, you know, it's fun when you've just got it, but kind of it gets old.
Well, it's like YouTubers. You reach a certain level, you're like, this is sick. Some people maintain that level, keep working hard.
KSI.
Prime example, maintain that level and look at where he's still at the top.
Yeah.
Some people get to that and be like, I can relax.
Me. Mate, that is literally it, isn't it? Like KSI's got to the top and stayed there for 10 years. Weller got a taste of the good time and took his foot off the pedal. Mate, you could literally say that, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
Because it wasn't because I still want to be the best. I still think I have the ability to be the best entertainer out there.
Relax a little.
But it's because I guess the kick out of being the best sort of wasn't the kick out of doing things that maybe making videos I don't really want to make in order to be the best, because that's what you got to do. You got to do videos and shit that you don't really want to do in order to be the best. Like that, I was sort of I don't want to go and do this video that's probably against my morals a little bit, but it's going to get loads of views.
But it's important as well, you learn how to evolve. Look at PewDiePie.
Yeah.
97 million subs.
Yeah, mad.
He got 20 million, you could be like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Chill out. 30 million. 97 million, and he's still uploading daily.
Yeah,
grinding. And not only that, it looks like he's still enjoying it because he's changing up his content and evolving. He's not doing the gaming videos, he's more of a commentary sort of guy now, and he looks like he's enjoying it.
Yeah, it's like how is he not just sitting on his millions and gone, you know what, I've made it?
I think it's because he genuinely has a passion, he loves it.
Yeah.
But it's those people that you have to
admire
and learn from.
Yeah. Bottom line, to finish this off, AJ, if he wins his next match, would you put him against Wilder? Would you put him against someone else first to sort of ease him back into it? Or is it Wilder next?
It all depends on the next. If he wins the next fight, in his head, it has to be Wilder. But what I think would be better for him is to have another fight in between.
Have a sort of, No, I sort of agree. But even now, he was like, I kind of still want Wilder. He doesn't want to face Ruiz again. He can't be arsed.
Well, I think that's the thing. If he really wants it, I think it's a different story.
Yeah.
Because then he's more motivated for it.
Yeah. Yeah, in my opinion, entertainment-wise, I want to see him go against Wilder straight after Ruiz, win or lose. Right? Because this is the thing. If he loses to Ruiz and then goes and beats Wilder, bang, he's still class. But if he fights anywhere near what he did against Ruiz, he'll get banged by Wilder and he'll get schooled by Fury.
It's all or nothing for him though, isn't it?
It is all or nothing.
It literally is all or nothing.
It does all come down to this.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, let's hope he comes back and inspires us once again and proves everyone wrong. But
AJ, if you want to come on.
AJ, if you want to come on. Wait, this is a thing. Last thing. This is the last thing.
One more thing.
No, last thing is that, obviously, that initial reaction video that I did at Madison Square Garden that I didn't put out, right, it's because in the heat of the moment, I did say some like outlandish things.
Mean things.
And yeah, well, not mean, but I was just like, is he a fraud? Has he been exposed? Which, like, in the heat of the moment, like, it comes out because you're passionate, you're shocked, and all that stuff. But the reason why I do still want to show my respect and support for AJ is obviously he's done all this stuff. But after my fight, he messaged me to say, bro, like console me, support me. And like, bro, he, like, heavyweight champion of the world, like, he didn't have to do that. And I think, like, him doing that, like, not doing it publicly either, just a little message to, like, support me, just some YouTuber, him doing that, showing his class, shows the sort of geezer he is. So, like, I just hope he does it.
And I was just going to add, it shows how real he can be. So that's why we got hope for him to actually come out and open up.
Got to hope. Open up, AJ. That's the one thing I'm going to say. Open up. Just say what really happened, what was really wrong. Like, I think that'd be amazing if he did. But anyways, boys and girls, comment down below what you think. We're now just going to show this week's 3 weekly Wafflin shout-outs who have used our Fortnite code, Theo.
Keep going. Come on.
Yeah.
In the
Fortnite item shop.
Yes, he's done it.
Right, so these are the people that have tweeted us screenshots as proof that they've done it. Well done, guys. Keep supporting. If you want to be in next week's, you know what to do. Just send in a screenshot of you using the Fortnite code Theo in the item shop. And it basically helps support this whole podcast and the show. So yeah, keep it going. Come on, AJ. You can do this. Any last words, Theo?
subscribe.
Bang.